Hello and welcome back to Berserker, and I've just stumbled across this. This is actually something that doesn't happen all the time, because usually I'll get there too late or I'll get there too early and there's not much that I can do because then they receive a huge amount of reinforcements either side. And as you can see, there's actually a party coming in to reinforce the Azurai. However, I think I can get there before Xena is defeated. At least I hope so. Hang on, Xena, I'm almost there. There we go. Okay, we actually did make it just in time. So before we head in there, just going to check to make sure that I have spec'd all my perks and that everything is working as intended with my party. And that does seem to be the case. So let's help them out, shall we? This is the main reason why I wanted to become a mercenary initially. This is going to give me a really good opportunity to improve my funds. So in other words, I'm going to be able to make a lot of money. And also, I'm going to be able to get a huge amount of experience going down the line, because I don't want to go into a faction, because here's the thing, we are going to have to join a faction eventually. It's just how it is in Bannerlord, unfortunately. I don't think there's a real way that you can create your own faction super easily, unless you have a wide variety of companions that are going to actively help you. And I'm talking about they need to help you, and they need to decide to do that themselves. Because here's the thing, if you're not a mercenary, well, generally, can you actually call for an army as a mercenary? I don't think so. Can you? That's something that I'm not sure if they've changed. I'm not sure if they've changed that, because from what I recall, you are unable to call for an army to be created as a mercenary, and I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that. It could be that they've changed it or something like that. But anyway, the point is, generally, it's not considered to be possible. It's not actually possible for us to do anything about that. So I'm hopeful that that has either been changed or that it has always been the case, and I've just not realized or done something wrong there. I think I just killed an enemy vassal. Did you see that? I think I just killed that guy. Well, he's not going to be very pleased when he wakes up in the... Oh, he's not going to wake up. Okay, never mind. Anyway, point is... Ow, I knew that was going to hit me really hard right there. Anyway, the point is, if I leave my mercenary contract, well, what am I going to be able to do then? Well, I can't do anything because I can't access the kingdom screen. So there is no way for me to do anything about creating my own faction there either. So the only thing that I can really do is create my own faction from having my own fief or something like that. That's the only way that I can really see to create it and to have like a springboard that will give me an easier time of things, because at the moment I don't think there's an easier way. What? It just crashed. Okay, I'll be back in a minute then. I'm extremely surprised. What actually happened? Alright, anyway, so I was saying that creating my own faction is going to be a little bit difficult, because if I don't have a mercenary contract and I'm not able to create an army, then I won't be able to direct my party members to where I want them to be, and I won't be able to have them in my own army helping me out with the siege, because let's face it, they're probably going to run off and do some random stuff that isn't actually that useful. Anyway, I'm hoping right now that the hotfix that was implemented recently, I believe it was implemented yesterday for Bannerlord in the version that I'm currently playing, which is 1.6.1, and also a hotfix for 1.6.2. I'm very much hoping that that has not interfered with my current mod setup, because if that is indeed the case, then I assume that the dismemberment mod is going to cause a problem, which is definitely something I'm not looking forward to. Okay, I wasn't able to kill Duel this time, which is somewhat unfortunate. I would like to see a couple of the vassals die. I mean, I don't. That's not really my goal, but it would be advantageous for the game as a whole if we could actually start, eliminating these vassals whenever we can. Although not by execution, of course. If we were to execute them, that would just result in many more people being upset with us, and that's not something that I really want. So let me actually just see if I can maybe do something here. Oh, you got murdered, sir. Okay, now I'm hopeful that if I do get another dismemberment, it's going to either crash right now. Is there a crash? No, it didn't, but I died. Okay, well, I mean, that happens. That happens. Okay, so I'm going to take control of this guy, and I will attempt to win the day with him. I mean, this is obviously... I would assume this is going to be a victory for me. I'm not entirely sure why this guy is so difficult to murder right now. There we go. Nice. But yeah, it seems like it's not the dismemberment mod that... Oh, it's crashed again. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but it is crashing. So I'm going to have to do an auto-resolve against this battle. I really didn't want to do that because I personally find that to be kind of sad and a little bit disappointing when it comes to these much larger fights. These much larger fights are so much fun to participate in, but apparently I'm going to have to do that. Alright, so here we go. This is obviously where we started the episode, and now we're just going to have to go in and lose a bunch of our units as a result of this. I really didn't want to have to do this. I mean, we do gain a significant amount of medicine skill, which I think is pretty nice, and we are going to get the opportunity to capture a lot of vassals, which is very, very pleasing to me. This is going to get us a huge amount of roguery skill, do bear that in mind. However, obviously the fun factor of not being able to go in and actually deal damage and have fun fighting and stuff like that, that has obviously been taken away from us, which is not exactly great. But until I either figure out if it is indeed a mod that is causing the crash, or if it is just an interaction between someone in the battlefield, I would assume that that's probably the case, because I wouldn't see a reason why a hotfix would cause a mod to crash. I would assume if it was a big update in some way or another to 1.6.1, then I would, then I could definitely see that. But yeah, as it stands, 55,000, ransom all the prisoners. What, really? Only two? Only two roguery? Okay. Well, I guess I should get a bit more used to seeing those kinds of gains from such a large amount of vassals. I mean, I literally had, what, 5 or 6 vassals right there? Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing to me, but oh well, never mind. Let's get some fish, actually. Let's get some fish, let's get some meat, and let's get some other stuff as well, because we have an overabundance of grain right now, so we should probably just get some other stuff, just to make sure that we have a good variety of food. And the main reason why I actually came over here in the first place is so that we could fight some of the Khuzait and indeed attempt to raid their villages, because I don't know whether you can notice, but at the top of the screen here we have war exhaustion with the Western Empire. The Western Empire is almost defeated, so we really don't have to worry too much about them soon enough. And we also do have a couple of vassals around here. Don't go in. Oh, you. That grinds my gears. Oh, yes, it does. Okay, you better come out here. Yeah. There we go. You thought I'd left? You thought I'd left? That was a bad assumption. That was an incorrect assumption on your part. Okay, here we go. Let's fight. This actually gives me an opportunity to actually fight in a battle. If it does give me another crash, then oh dear. I don't have an autosave, do I? Oh, you know what? This super grinds my gears that I have to do this kind of thing just to prevent a possible crash. I have no idea why it would even be crashing at this point. But if it does crash again, I assume it is the dismemberment mod causing some kind of conflict. But I have no idea why that would happen all of a sudden, even if it is just a hotfix. Let me just save real fast and then we'll go into the battle. Alright, so here we go. We're now in the fight. I've already done my commanding for this one, and I've already placed my infantry in a loose formation. Hopefully I'll be able to get a couple of kills here as well. Some rather satisfying ones, if you please. Thank you. And maybe I'm going to see a couple of dismemberments too. If we do get to see some dismemberments, then at least we will know that it is indeed that. I mean, it didn't happen immediately after I dismembered in that one battle when the second crash happened, but when the first one happened, it happened straight away. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, whether it is that or not. I'm getting skewered like no one's business right here. Super, super annoying. There we go. Come on, guys. I'm just going to tell my guys just to charge in right now, because these cavalry are causing a bit of a problem here. I wonder whether it's it might be a conflict with my little warband as well. Because obviously unique units being added to the game, that's also something that might be considered a bit of an issue. But only if you uninstall it, surely. Only if you uninstall that particular mod and then play without it, while you still have the mod, well, shall we say, while you still have the mod units in your army. Okay, there's a dismemberment. Okay, so now let's see whether the crash happens a few seconds later. It might. If it does, then we know what the problem is. I'm waiting for it, you know. I'm kind of dreading it now, you know. It's one of those things. I really wish the game had a better way to update things and to keep mods actually working. That's the reason why I play on the various version branches of the game as well, so that it is more stable. But, well, apparently it's not. Apparently it's not that stable, because I'm now crashing all the time for some reason. Anyway, it seems like the dismemberment mod is not the problem, as you can quite clearly tell. It seems like it was just that battle for some reason. Don't know why. But oh well, never mind. Let's just try and get as much experience as we can for our two-handed. I'm hopeful to get to about 300 if I can, but if not, then I'll just switch to my one-handed and we'll do something with that. I feel like tournaments would probably be the best way for me to level up my one-handed skill, all things considered. Because in these kinds of battles, it's rather tricky to get into melee range, especially with cavalry units. I mean, you see these guys, they're just running around very annoyingly. I'm just going to go zoom zoom. And there we are. Nice victory. Great. Okay, so we only lost 5. We did not crash, which is absolutely fantastic. 2 thumbs ups from me. And we are going to take her prisoner, of course, and we will be taking all of her forces and then selling them. And what do you bet? What do you bet we're going to get the exact same amount of roguery skill that we did beforehand, even though we had 5 vassals to sell? Is it just dependent on numbers? Is it literally just dependent on numbers? It is, as you can quite clearly see. Look at that. It doesn't matter about the value of the vassals or the value of the people that you are selling. It only matters how many you sell. At least that is what I can kind of tell from the results that we've had in the past couple of times that we've sold those things. Anyway, I was actually going to attempt to try and find Nielsen. Unfortunately, he is in a bit of a spot of bother. I actually paid his ransom. Yeah, I paid his ransom because he was a prisoner of the Aserai at Sanalo, because once the Aserai declared war, they decided to take him prisoner, and obviously that is not a good thing at all. And we then had some problems with that, so I had to pay about 4,000, which is obviously nothing. But yeah, still, I had to pay that, and now I don't know where he is. He was last seen at Danustica, it says, but obviously that is possibly not true. So we'll see if that is indeed the case. Where is he? Is he going to be in the keep? Nope, he's not going to be in the keep. Is he going to be in the tavern? No, he's not there either. Okay, well, apparently he's not there. It says he was last seen at Danustica, so I would have... Yeah, as you can see, last seen at Danustica. I don't know why he would not be here now, but apparently not. Anyway, toll roads, Kingdom decision's not relevant. I mean, to be fair, they're not really going to listen to me. Anyway, I have a lot of money right now. Look at that, I just made 150,000? Really? Is that true? Apparently I did. Anyway, that's pretty nice. And someone said to sell a little bit of my horses. Yeah, I probably should do that, right? So I'm just going to sell some more of my my harnesses here, and I should probably sell some more of my horses. I have a lot of these, which is maybe a bit too much. So maybe I should sell a couple of those. It's just I don't want to go too far below my inventory capacity. So I'm going to just keep those a little bit. And we'll sell a bunch of these. Britannian pony, lame Aserai horse. Is that actually, are these actually good? I don't know. We'll just sell them. Whatever. All right, there you go. Oh, what? I got 13 skill points in trade? I had no idea. Okay. Apparently something happened with those horses that I have no idea about. Okay, so let's have a look here. I have 100 points in steward now. The first one is not implemented, so this is basically pointless. So I will take the one that is. Discarded armor can be donated to troops for increased experience? Okay, that seems kind of interesting. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it seems interesting nevertheless. So Maybe maybe we'll try that out when we have I don't know, a couple of spare pieces of armor or something like that. And there's a very welcome auto-resolve, just in case the worst were to happen. You never know. And I'm actually going to be making my way on to Khuzait territory now, because we can maybe do a little bit of something. Oh yes, we can maybe do a little bit of raiding. I actually do enjoy raiding quite a bit. The only problem is that, well, the game doesn't really reward me that significantly for performing the raid, which is, well, sad, because I feel like playing a bandit or a brigand or a criminal in any way is not really rewarded as it maybe should be. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. If you are playing an underhanded and unsavory individual, and I'm talking about a criminal here, then surely you should be rewarded so much more than if you were playing an honorable character. Just purely for the fact that most of the time, illegal activities are going to be rewarded much faster and just generally more efficiently than if you were doing legal activities. And I'm only taking this from a realistic standpoint here, because obviously if you think about real life, usually illegal activities are going to get a much larger payday than if you were to do regular 9 to 5, you know? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. So anyway, we've leveled up a couple of people, because obviously we did did recruit some more units. And talking about recruiting, I should really get some more from here as well. Do we have a quest here? Nah, it's not that useful. And I was actually thinking maybe we should just create a couple of two-handed swords or something like that. But I think this is going to be one of those places that we're going to raid. We're going to raid some of these over here, because they're pretty far away from pretty much anywhere else in the Khuzait territory, and we have 3 different directions that we can run off to as well if they decide to come and annoy us. I'm going to go for an auto-resolve here because I'm a bit scared about crashes, and we're just going to do that. That was a pretty decent amount. Oh, wait a minute. You see that? Look at this. Your troops will get 4,200 experience for donating all of these things. Okay, so wait a minute. If I literally take everything except the armor, because bear in mind, I don't need the money, right? I don't need the money. I mean, you can kind of see that. They're going to get 4,200 experience. How good is that? I'm going to do it and see. I obviously can't go to my... that's kind of hilarious, isn't it? That I literally cannot go to my party screen now that I'm raiding. But after I'm done with the raid, I will take a look at my party screen and see if any people have leveled up. I would assume that my recruits probably have leveled up pretty easily, and maybe some tier 2 units as well. And 4,200 experience is pretty good, right? I think that's pretty good. Anyway, we made peace with the Western Empire right now, which is, I suppose, decent. I don't really care about it that much, as I am a mercenary, of course. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so we perpetrated that very easily. Oh, yeah, you could see here that our bear soldiers leveled up really pretty fast. Now, you can see here that they require 550 experience to level up. Now, bear in mind that I assume the 4,200 experience is shared throughout the entirety of your party. I assume that that's the case. So obviously, if you take that into account, 4,200, especially if it is peasant goods, because it is indeed peasant armor, it's probably not going to give you a huge amount, is it? No, it's not going to give you that much. So, you know, bear that in mind if you are going to do that as well. Anyway, let's just go down here, and we only got 9 cows? Really? That's not that much. We'll sell the velvet and the silver ore here, and the pottery, the fur, and anything else that could be construed as trade goods. I guess I will sell the iron ore as well as the hides, the salt, tools, linen. Wow, we've got a bunch of stuff, just literally because I have raided these places and I just haven't sold them, which is definitely something that I need to do much more often, because I think that a lot of these things are taking up a lot of weight in my inventory. So that's pretty good. And there's a person right there that I'd like to fight, so let's do that. And I'm going to try and level up my one-handed skill in this fight a little bit more too. I feel like that is going to be kind of useful. So let's do that. And I'm thinking we'll probably just charge them in, apart from our cavalry, which we'll tell to auto-delegate. They can just protect the left flank and the right flank. As you can see right there, they are attempting to just, you know, play a more supportive role which I am appreciative of. And I'm going to tell my infantry to go into a loose formation too. So let's go into one-handed stance, I guess you could call it. And I don't know how I feel about this weapon. I don't know. What did I use in the Duelist series? Because the Duelist series is definitely something, one of my favorite series to date. And it was just so much fun to run around with an extremely fast-moving character and, well, pretty much dodge anything that would come our way. Unfortunately, I'm not that mobile with this guy, so I am proving to need to defend quite a bit more often, which is obviously a bit of an issue here. But I'm gonna just try and block as much as I can. Okay, yeah, these guys should fall before us relatively easily. Yeah, it seems being, by the way, it seems being taller is actually helping my reach. Is that just me? I mean, that would stand to reason that would be helpful, because if you think about it, from a realistic standpoint, most taller people are going to have a longer reach in terms of their arm length. And so, you know, that really does make a pretty big difference. Although I'm not sure if that's the case in the game. Oh, really? He got killed by someone else? Ugh. That was not great. No one else? Really? There's a couple of cavalry in this distance. Oh, okay, fine. Let's just go for a super speed finish. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, there you go. Fantastic victory for us. And I believe my clan has leveled up to the next tier, or was it? I don't know. I think it was pretty close to leveling up to the next tier. I don't even know whether I should even rescue any of these mounted units. Are they any good? Oh, they are actually pretty good. Imperial Caravan Guards are quite nice. So I will be taking all of those, just for the sake of having a couple more cavalry units. That sounds pretty fun, actually. Yeah, why not? And my troops are going to get 7,000 experience. Why is it in red now? For donating weapons and or armor, depending on your perks. Okay. But why... Huh. Why is it in red? See, yeah, that's the thing. I think it needs a little bit more explanation as to why these things happen, if you know what I mean. Why does this happen? Why is it in red now, instead of it being... Maybe because it's too much? Is it too much experience? That could be it. That would make sense. So, there we go. Yeah, so I just took 2 things away, and now there's 6,700. So yeah, I think we're probably just gonna donate the rest of these. And there you go. Okay. Oh, he actually died! That guy actually died in that fight. I had no idea. Okay, well that's great. And thankfully the game did not crash either, which is always nice. Anyway, let's go over to Amprila. This is actually a pretty cool little base that we have going on here as well. We're leveling up our roguery skill really quickly, and I'm able to sell a lot of my ill-gotten gains very, very fast by going to this place as well, which is super good. And if I can just sell all of this as well, sell the silver ore. Yeah, I mean, obviously we just... Why did this guy have so many trade goods? He wasn't even a caravan. That's kind of strange, right? Huh. Maybe he was... I don't know, maybe he was on a trade run or something like that. Maybe he was a bit of a trader himself. I have no idea, but whatever the case, let's go in and fight against another village. These guys are not going to be able to stand up against us at all. We will capture them, though. And they're only going to get 675 experience. I feel like that's a waste, so I'll just take the armaments. Ooh, hello there. There is a Crusade vassal attempting to attack us, or at the very least they might decide to do so if they get a small... Aha! We're going to end the raid now. Monchug is here. Okay, so Monchug, if you don't know, he's the leader of the Crusade, and he's definitely someone that you don't really want to mess with most of the time, because usually he has a bunch of lackeys nearby that want to take you on at the same time. Now these two I could probably deal with, maybe, but you got to bear in mind that these fellows will have primarily all archer, horse archer based units, and they're going to be very, very difficult to deal with. So that's obviously a big issue. Anyway, there we are. Okay, so we've leveled up quite nicely. And, oh, look at that. I actually do have a perk point. I had no idea. All right, great. So let's have a look. What am I going to spec into? Well, I suppose I'll spec into smithing, right? That would probably make the most sense. And we'll spec our last attribute point into cunning. And the other attribute points that I'm going to get will probably be going into control or social? What do you think? What do you think's better, social or control? I mean, if I'm going to be using throwing weapons more often, then I guess control. But if I want to level up my leadership skill, because I'm pretty sure this is the only thing that I really want from the social trees, I don't really care about charm that much. Relation increase with NPCs plus 9%. I mean, do I care about it that much? Yeah, kinda, but not that dramatically. And trade skill is obviously not that important to me either. But I guess we'll see as time goes on. Well, thankfully we made peace. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, we made peace with the Western Empire, so we're pretty happy with that. And now we're only at war against the Khuzait and the Aserai. But oh yes, rest assured, I will try to do as much damage against the Khuzait as I can before their war exhaustion kicks in. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.